Oh man, hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome. Hey, this is it. From the heights of victory to the, what is it? No, what was it? There's the thrill of victory and
to the depths of despair.
My God. Well, as you can see, everybody, it should be about something. I'm Jim Libby.
And I'm Michael Smollett.
And tonight, we wanted to be coming to you live from the Theater Drachengasse,
where we're setting up our new show, Ready, Steady, Snow. We're almost there, but we've been working those kids so hard the past couple of days setting up all the tech that we decided it would be better to send them home, let them get some sleep.
Hi, Kathy. Glad you're here. Kathy's been a treasure, working hard as well at the Drachengasse. And we're really close.
We're almost there.
I have to admit, we're really close.
Some of that stuff was looking pretty good today.
Yeah, and it's getting there. And so it's been an amazing, crazy learning experience trying to turn the theater into a television studio. And
it can be done.
It can be done.
On a shoestring.
On a nothing budget.
I'm going to try and stop your shirt from doing that, okay?
Okay.
You just keep talking.
Okay, I'm going to keep, my shirt is flimmering. Yep, I know, it's flimmering. So all of our equipment is in the Drachengasse. And tonight we are coming to you live from my guest room. And we've got a wonderful little camera, which isn't very powerful, but we're doing the best we can. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, thank you all so very much. This is great that you're taking time to hang out with us.
There's a name I see there for the first time. Follower of Clay. Follower of Clay. Nice to see you, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us, dude.
It's not just his shirt. Everything is going. Yeah, this is going to be the psychedelic show tonight. Those of you joining us for the first time, it should be about something normally brought to you in 3 parts tonight as well. We'll probably bring it to you in 3 parts. Our first part, we're talking about a show. Michael and I are in a theater company called The English Lovers, and we have a brand new show that's starting on December 2nd. It's called Ready, Steady, Snow, and we will be sending that live to the world. It's taken a long time to figure out how we wanted to do that because our art is a live art and we have conceived of it and worked on it very hard to make it a type of art that is done in front of people. And now we're trying to find a way to use those skills and those ideas for a camera. And it seems like it's really close. It should be just okay, let's do that.
Yeah, and a lot of the time you think they're not so far apart. It's like
that's what I mean. Yeah.
You think they're brothers, but they're actually cousins.
Oh man, I just get reminded of that scene from Pulp Fiction. You know, where it's like, little differences. I just got back from Amsterdam.
Yeah, the differences aren't that little. No, it's like a quarter pounder with a quarter pounder with cheese.
Yeah, Royale.
Even if you call it a Royale with cheese, it's still a quarter pounder beef with cheese.
Yeah, it's just called something different. Yeah. And it's been cool. And it's a big shout out to the Theater Drachengasse for helping us out. Philip came up with some great... what's Philip's last name?
Grausam.
Grausam. Which is German for...
Yeah, it means different things. Apparently, when I asked him about that once, it means a grau is from Grausammler, so someone who collects old fabric, right? The grey old fabric is a Grausammler.
Wow. Okay, I hear you.
That's where the name comes from, yeah, and not from Grausam, which would be horrible, mean. Yeah. Horrible. So big shout out to Philip for lending us some cameras, and a big shout out to Stu for lending us another camera.
Exactly, next on the list.
So we're almost set. Fucking Amazon still owes me some stuff that was supposed to arrive today, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And
we're down 2 wireless lavalier microphones, which we're either going to buy, borrow, or steal somewhere along the line.
Gruesome, says Pavlov.
Grausam is gruesome.
I guess it could be.
Boom, Pavlov's dog dropping some tea. Nice. Yeah, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, so if anybody knows where to get 2 remote lavaliers in Vienna for free or next to free, like whatever your next thing to free is, give us a call, okay? Because we want that deal.
And if you are interested in seeing one of the shows, which are starting on December 2nd, you can just go to the Eventbrite page.
I'm going to put the link in the chat.
Put the link in the chat, man.
Put the goddamn link in the chat.
Put the goddamn link in the goddamn chat. Man. Michael Smolik, dropping the GDs. All right. And we're going to put that in the link in the chat. And then it would be awesome if anybody wanted to come and check it out. Andrew, contact AKG and see if they'll sponsor with a donation of 2. Boom. Yeah, man. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. I like it.
Good. Let's do that.
We'll get on that.
Calling those boys tomorrow.
Nice. And so there's the link for the chat, the link in the chat for our new show coming up on December 2nd. Hui. How you feeling? We've come straight from the theater.
Do you remember that feeling you had like way ages ago, long ago, before all this lockdown COVID shit, where you'd kind of get up and then you'd leave your apartment and then you'd go out all day and do stuff and you'd come back? That's how I feel. You remember? Tired. I feel tired.
Yeah.
For good reason. It's like... Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. Hey, a big shout out to Verena Müller. Thanks for joining us. And thank you, Verena. Verena tipped us last week.
Verena tipped us. Yes, I was actually going to get back to Verena with a direct message, but stuff happened.
This production has been kicking our asses. But we thank you so very much. If anyone doesn't know what that is, we've got a tip jar, and if you want to buy us a cup of coffee, that'd be awesome.
Isbaz tip jar. In fact, hey, here I think this is a good strategy.
Okay.
Put money in our tip jar,
Right.
and the next time we can go live somewhere, like live, like real live with on stage and stuff.
Right.
We'll buy you a drink.
Yeah. I like it. Not one of those like really expensive drinks with an umbrella or anything. But I don't know.
Like a drink somewhere in the level of your tip.
Yeah. Verena just waved at the screen again. Very cute. This shirt that I put on is way too big. It makes me look like I'm really...
Yeah, it's got kind of funky colors going as well, because we looked way better before you put that shirt on.
Well, I was naked. So, Orson Lavaliers.
What?
Pavlov's dog, Orson Lavaliers. Haven't decided on the show date yet, when I'll see the show. Orson Lavaliers. I'm not sure what Lavaliers, but I get it. I think I get it. I have a drink from the backstage fridge. Follower of Clay. Oh, that's a clue as to who.
I just have a drink from the backstage fridge.
That is. Do you mean our window bar?
Yeah, the window. We'll be serving at the window bar. You can come up to the window. We'll serve you a drink, even in lockdown, because you're not in the same room with us.
Yeah. We've got a window bar backstage where we keep everything.
Have you ever seen a photograph of those window bars that were around in the Middle Ages? It would be a hole in the wall, and during the plague, people would go up to the window bar of a tavern and you'd stick your arm in the door. Stick your arm through the wall, and they'd give you a chalice of something, and you'd stand outside and drink it, and then hand the chalice back in with all your germs on it, and they'd use it for someone else.
That's cool. Nice little tidbit.
Yeah, tidbit.
Nice little tidbit. Now I understand Pavlov's dog. That's very sweet. Yes, we could save them all our tips to.
Save up the tips for Lavaliers.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
It's a good plan. We'd have to do the show for a long time, but it's a good plan, Pavlov. Hey, I'm all for putting money in the bank, dude. Man.
So. Normally we go and do this show in 3 parts, and part number 1 has been about the Drachengasse.
I guess
we got nothing more to talk about.
No, we're done with it. We're definitely done with the Drachengasse.
We're so disappointed because we were really hoping we could show you guys what is going on.
We didn't do a whole walk around. We could have done a whole walk around in the Drachengasse, but anyway,
What are we gonna do?
But we're going to do Isbaz. Kind of late night or special things from the Drachengasse, aren't we? We can do that.
That's what we said. So next week, just so you all know, next week, Isbaz will come to you not at 8:30 CET. It will come to you probably around 10:30 CET.
More like that, yeah. Maybe 10.
Maybe 10.
We'll see.
And because by then, we're going to be in the Drachengasse. Oh, you know who I also want to give a shout out right away to is Joanna, who is doing these wonderful. She has been at it so long. She's been doing these wonderful readings of 1001 Arabian Nights, and she's been doing this on Facebook Live, I think.
Facebook Live, yeah.
And
she did it from my studio
back
once.
in the beginning, yeah.
I think she started in May or something.
And I think she's on tonight at some point, so you might want to check them out.
She plugged our show. She said, go and watch these guys, but only after you've watched my show first. So, thanks for the plug.
Yeah, thanks for the plug.
Yeah, thanks for that.
All right. So next week, we're going to be on later. We'll send you all a message on Facebook. And of course, if you subscribe to It Should Be About Something.
And ring the bell.
It'll just come up in your feed and you'll know that next week will be going at 10:30.
You YouTubers have been driving me so crazy with this ring the bell thing.
YouTubers?
Yeah, all the YouTubers I subscribe
Like
to.
we're not them now?
No, I don't think. Are we them? Look
We are
look
them.
at our background. I'm not sure we are them yet.
yeah.
Ring the bell. So, okay. There's something that I want to talk about.
Please.
Men's shoes.
Oh, okay. Let's do it. Talking about men's shoes, people.
It's really difficult to get a good pair of shoes. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's very
Like,
difficult
what's
to have
your-
a good time these days. It is difficult to find a good pair of shoes.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly.
What is it dependent on? Let's define what a good pair of shoes is.
Whew. All right. I'm just because of the context, and I know it's you. When we were talking about shoes, we're talking about leather-soled shoes. We're not talking about sneakers at
No,
this point.
I think we should talk about any kind of shoe,
Okay.
like any kind of
Why
shoe.
don't you tell me what you mean by shoes then?
All right. Before I had this issue,
Yes.
which kind of started yesterday. Again, this issue was revived again yesterday. Talking about shoes would have been about leather soled, preferably handmade shoes. Okay, but it's really, really difficult to get shoes of any ilk that don't look ridiculous, especially if you're looking for a sneaker.
Okay, I think you need to narrow your subject for a second. Do you want to talk about sneakers or you want to talk about regular shoes?
I want to talk about the difficulties of
Finding any shoes.
finding any shoes, but especially sneakers.
Okay, then let's talk about sneakers. I hear you. Because dang, I have been looking for a pair of just plain white sneakers. Nothing special, nothing written on them, not a ton of stitching, not, just a simple pair
You don't
of,
want a
I don't
sole
want
that's
a
that
sole
thick,
that's that thick. I
like
just want,
atomic soles.
yeah, that's a tough thing.
Yeah, it's impossible. I just want the same thing in black, so I can have a nice, comfy shoe that kind of passes for a daytime kick around shoe.
Yeah,
But you can stand in them all day.
yeah,
You can walk a long distance in them or walk in them all day, right?
yeah.
Which you can't always do in leather shoes. So that's what I've been looking for. But it's impossible to find something that is not full of stickers or names or reflective bits.
Yeah. I just need to follow up on this. Follower of Clay, who I still am not sure who this is, says, guys, there's a shoemaker in town who hand makes shoes for your feet, just not in your town. It's in my town. Jim knows it. I know a shoemaker in Follower of Clay's town. This is fun for me because I don't know what this is yet. Anyway, yeah, this is very difficult.
Does the shoemaker make
Sneakers?
Sneakers.
No, of course not. See, that's why we
And
need to narrow this shit down.
getting a worthwhile leather shoe is actually that's actually easier if you go to a shoemaker, right? And I've started going to shoemakers for those shoes in general. It's the other shoes that are difficult to get. You need you need a shoe that doesn't look ridiculous and is more or less watertight if you want to live in Europe in winter. So like a Gore-Tex lined leather Halbschuh, right?
Yeah.
You can't get them. I got one pair once, 15 years ago, and I should have bought 6.
Right.
Because it's like my feeling is every time they make something that I like, nobody else wants that, and the corporation behind is like, fuck that shit, we're done. And the next season, nobody buys that crap. The next season, you can't get it anymore.
Exactly. And I agree. I used to laugh. I had a girlfriend who, when she found something that she liked, she would buy 3 copies of it.
Yeah.
Different colors sometimes, sometimes the same color.
You should do that.
And you really should
it's a
do
good
that.
plan. It's a
You
good plan.
really should do that.
Yep.
Follower of Clay, here's the next clue. No, I know the town, but not the shoe guy. Okay, that helps me. Because I was thinking, I know a couple of shoe guys.
But you know the town. So follower of
town.
Clay, does this mean Jim actually has been to the town several times?
I love this. The clues. The
I think that's a very nice joke there. Window bar, that's Wonderbra. Yes.
Yeah, I also
Come to our Wonder Bra window bar.
I also like Pavlov's dog being very true to themselves. Ring a bell? Drooling. You guys
We could
make
call
the
it
show.
window. We could call it window bra.
Guys, have you ever never heard of Doc Martens?
I have
Sneakers.
I have, but actually,
He's talking about sneakers.
it's not bad actually. Doc Martens. I've had Doc Martens, and I don't like the way my feet feel in them after like half a day. They don't have enough. What is the ridge in the middle?
Arch support.
Arch support. Yeah.
I'm
old.
I used to wear Doc Martens back in the day. I used to wear those a lot. And then John Fluvog, he would make these soles. They were done in Boston. I remember going down to Boston and
have them
having
resoled?
to get John Fluvog Angel soles. Yeah, shoes are very difficult when you can find a good pair of shoes. Like I found a shop in Frankfurt. When I was on tour, anytime I was in Frankfurt, I would always go to this one shoe shop because the dude who ran this shoe shop knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He had a really nice selection of stuff. They weren't like super expensive, but they were fine quality Italian shoes, English shoes, and it was great. And I loved it. And every time I would go there, I would buy a pair.
Yeah.
He was here with a show called, I can't remember. I think it was about something.
So this means follower of clay
He's
is
totally
from-
fucking with us now.
He's either fucking with us, she,
She is fucking with us.
but that is like follower of clay is from Vienna.
No, if
Because
I was
follower of clay
if I
talking
was in
about their
followers-
own town.
Yeah, they're talking about their town. I was in their town with the
Yeah,
show, so I know them. They're not from Vienna.
Oh,
Okay,
maybe talking
the
about
plot-
show you. Oh, talking
the
about
plot
show you.
thickens. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we got a chance to talk about how difficult it is to find
Yes.
sneakers, and I hope you've been able to excise some of your frustration, knowing that it is difficult. It's not just you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something else that happens. You kind of go out looking for a pair of sneakers, and then you compromise on some sneaker that's kind of, you look at it and you think,
See, I never compromise.
This is the best I can find, so I'm going to get this. And then 2 years later, when you've worn those out,
Yeah.
you go to the shoe shop and say, these are great. I want another pair of these. And they're like, we don't
No,
have
you
that
can't have
crap
those
anymore. So I've kind of got into the habit of buying that compromise because you get so used to them. And eventually you think, it's not that bad. It's
I know
better
what
than
you
not
mean.
having any.
I know what you mean. I hear you. I like to wait. If it's not the thing that I want, I have just compromised so often in my life. And if it's not what I'm looking for, and my problem is I always have a very specific idea of what it should be, and then I have to kind of like be open to what's there. But that's where they get you, because then you go for these compromises. Well, it's not quite what I want, but no, I will wait.
Yeah, I don't have
frustrate
years.
a lot of people.
I don't have years to wait.
Yeah, I know.
I think I've passed the halfway mark of my life. I'm not going to wait for shoes to come out.
I hear you. Yeah. You gotta get there.
I've got places to go, man. I can't wait for my shoes.
Speaking of places to go, this is my segue into our next subject, because I'm done talking about shoes.
I'm not a whiner.
Wasn't even on the list.
Wiener.
A Vina, not a wiener. Anyway, he or she is not. It feels like a woman. I'm not sure why. Follower of clay.
Oh, Andrew has Fluvog shoes.
Does he?
Really? He says he still has pairs of Fluvog.
Yeah, see?
Oh, or are you talking about Doc Martens, Andrew?
Yeah, no. John Fluvog did stuff with. Yeah, so they
cool.
were a type of Doc Marten.
Nice. Yeah, I've got work shoes from
Philly
the
Girl
90s.
says, "I know I've been shopping with you, but I won't get unless." Hello, Philly Girl 1000. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I'm done talking about shoes. Can we move on?
I want to say this. Yes, if you get a good pair of shoes, I have work shoes that I bought in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I still have them. Mm-hmm. Get those things resold.
Yeah.
Every couple of years.
I think if you
Get 'em
can,
patched.
you should always buy the good shoes, because they
Sure.
will last longer.
Yeah.
I mean, it is very expensive to be poor.
Yes.
Has
More
been
expensive.
said before me.
It's been more expensive to be poor than to be rich.
But like Bannigan, he will always buy cheap shoes, but he does it every 6 months.
Yeah.
And I just, I'm like, dude, just wait, it'll be fine. Yeah. But what do you do? Which way do you go?
He's been shopping with you, see. He doesn't need that frustration anymore.
let's move on to homemade liquor.
Homemade liquor.
Why were we talking about homemade liquor?
We weren't. I think this is what Follower of Clay wants to talk about.
Ah, Follower of Clay.
Follower of Clay is an avid follower of homemade liquor.
Now...
He's into some homemade corn.
Yeah. What we have next on the list, and which I'd like to speak a little bit about, is Thanksgiving. Today, in the United States,
Yes.
it's Thanksgiving. And I'd like to talk about Thanksgiving as a holiday, and I would like to talk then about Thanksgiving as a verb, giving thanks.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
in South Africa,
Yes.
what was your fall fest?
There wasn't one.
You didn't have any sort of
Well, fall is in May.
yeah. Did you have some sort of harvest?
No.
There are no harvest
No.
holidays in South Africa. Interesting, because most places have some sort of harvest, thing, even if it's Okay,
No.
cool. Okay,
Nothing of that ilk at all.
interesting.
It was
Did you
just
have-
dreary May days?
But
Dreary-
you celebrated May Day.
No. Just dreary days in May.
Oh, I see.
No, we did celebrate May Day, yes.
Okay.
But I don't think it was even a public holiday anymore when I was a kid.
Right. So
I don't know whether it was ever a public holiday as such, or like a bank holiday type thing.
right. Interesting.
Maybe in the 60s when my mom was a kid. But we never celebrated anything like that. What's going on here?
Follower of Clay now says, I once knew a guy, gave him some homemade liquor, and he forgot to drink it. Can you imagine? Actually, I still know the guy he's talking right now. So I got some homemade liquor from Follower of Clay.
That is impossible. Follower of Clay.
I forgot to
I've known
drink
this man for like near on 25 years, and I've never seen him pass up the opportunity to drink. Never. It's not happened. So, it's like that's the first thing he does.
This is amazing. I am really, I don't know. Okay, so I'm baffled and amazed. My flabbers have been gasted and my gasts have been flabbered. You, as a South African, have no sort of harvest holiday.
That's true.
Okay. Well, in America, we have a harvest holiday, and it's called Thanksgiving, and it's the last Thursday in November, right? I think it's a movable
That's
feast
what
in that
this would
sense.
be, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's always the last Thursday in November. And when I came to Austria, I jumped ahead. Thanksgiving in America is a great big thing, and when I was a kid, I loved the Thanksgiving Day parade. You'd watch it on TV with the big floats and everything. I loved that families would come together. I loved that the house smelled like food everywhere, and whether it be
didn't even know
mom
what
or
it was.
grandma, huh?
I didn't even know what it was. We occasionally saw something, some part of that in like an American movie.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, that weird American.
It was like that funny thing they have,
They-
like
they
Halloween. I had no concept of what Halloween was until I think I still don't have a concept of what Halloween
Right.
is.
Must have been good. Like I said. Yeah, no kidding. So, but I loved it as a kid, and when I moved to Austria, of course, Austria doesn't have it. I mean, what's
we have Erntedank.
Erntedankfest, but they don't have Thanksgiving.
And there's some other thing that comes around the same time that might have a slightly different name, but basically it's Erntedank, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. And
I'm sorry, I think it's rural communities celebrate Erntedank a lot more than urban communities
Yes.
in Austria. And it might even be the proximity to Germany. They might even celebrate it more on the German border than anywhere else.
Right.
Like, I don't think the Italians do that much, do they?
I don't know about the Italians, but I do know that in Würzburg, Germany, there is a day always in November, and they call it Mantelsonntag. And it's a day where all the shops are open on a Sunday because that was the day that the farmers could come into town to get their mantel, to buy their shit for the winter. Yeah. Anyway, when
Which gives you some idea of how much those people worked.
yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah.
No kidding. And it was a rural community. So when I moved to Austria, and Thanksgiving then wasn't such a focus, I still like doing it. And when Andrew lived here, we would do a post-punk, post-modern Friendsgiving. So instead of having a Thanksgiving, we called it a Friendsgiving, which now has kind of become a thing. I don't remember ever kind of making it, but it doesn't matter. Anyway.
You mean other people use that term?
Use that term, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the whole PC thing.
I'll get back to you on that. In any case, that was the super fun times.
Turducken.
Yeah. We made every year a turducken, a homemade turducken, which is a chicken inside of a duck, inside of a turkey, with layers of stuffing between the birds.
This is not all. It's all deboned as well, so it's just meat. It's like meat rolled in a ball with bacon on top.
And then we would slice through it, and then you could see all these layers of the different fowls.
I saw this fantastic meme the other day. It was a Thanksgiving meme. There's a family sitting at the table, and I think they're atheists, and the father's praying. He says, "Thank you, universe, for making oven-sized balls of meat that we can eat on Thanksgiving." And there's this oven-sized balls of meat with small heads.
Yeah.
And there's this turkey with this little neck and a tiny little head.
Yeah. I think you should cut this cartoon out because it's proof that God exists. Because otherwise, why would those turkeys fit inside the
They're
oven?
just the right size.
They're just the right size for the oven. It was like there was an intelligent design
Makes
out there.
the term, what is it, butterballs? Aren't they called butterballs? Or is that a company that sells
Butterball was a company that sold
Turkeys.
Butterball turkeys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ant and Dunk is at the end of October, though. Yeah, but it sort of serves the same purpose.
Oh, is it that early? I didn't know it was that early. Maybe there is something that comes later in November.
Well, he did not forget it like forever. He and his squeeze kind of remembered it months later, and by then it was less tasty, I guess. I don't know yet.
You shouldn't let follower of clay play with you so much.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Andrew is smoking a butterball turkey right now. I'm smoking a butterball right now. Which, I don't know, it sounds really
how
funny.
long are you going to have it in the smoker, Andrew?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah,
you
we
doing
want to
like
know
a
Andrew's a
slow
mean man
smoke?
with a meat, so we're going to
Yeah.
find out what Andrew's doing with that thing, with his butterball turkey.
Mm-hmm.
How's he smoking his meat?
Slowly, I hope. Yeah. 5 hours?
5 hours.
That's not even so long.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
It's a small turkey.
Keeping it a low temp. Yeah, nice. So Thanksgiving is, I love it as a holiday. And when we had our Friendsgivings, it was just terrific. Getting all kinds of friends together and cooking all day and often, more than one day. I'm a big fan of Thanksgiving and I do miss it this year. And so just a shout out to everybody who's not doing Thanksgiving. And if you're into it like I am, I hear you.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I've been invited to friends' houses, several different US friends in Vienna for Thanksgiving. And it's nice. And I like to eat. So I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'm not into any of the Thanksgiving stuff, right? But none of my friends are religious or particularly religious, so none of that really happens anyway.
Well,
I don't
hold on
think
a
I
second.
could get in with that.
Thanksgiving is a secular holiday.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't it have a religious root?
I mean, the mythology of Thanksgiving, I guess, would be that it's the day that the Pilgrims and the Injuns made peace.
See, that's
and
why
ate
it's called
together.
Friendsgiving these days, right? That's
But
Didn't the Indians save them from starving?
Right. That's the mythology. I'm not sure how close to the truth that mythology is. I think it's just sort of that mythology, just like the mythology of Christopher Columbus, which, came out.
They probably saved him from starving
hundreds
as
of
well.
years later, and
They probably saved him from starving as well. when him and his men got to that island, what was it, Haiti? They arrived in Haiti.
Yeah.
They were probably starved, crazy, hadn't seen people who were not their own dirty, smelly selves for weeks.
you'd think. I don't know. I think I remember reading that basically like the whole story of Columbus being crazy because the world is flat and all that had nothing to do with it. Everyone knew the world was round back then. What they thought he was crazy for was that he could sail across the Atlantic and the Pacific to get to China instead of going around what they knew.
They didn't know that America existed.
He was trying to get
the Americas.
And so they go off on this voyage and then hit a fucking continent, and they're like, "Ow!
This sucks.
We discovered this." White man history. Some cranberry jelly. You got some cranberry jelly. Nice. Yeah. Andrew's talking about the cranberry jelly because Friendsgiving. You got to have your homemade cranberries, which is actually a lot easier to do than you think it is. And if you've never made your own cranberry sauce, you should do it. But it's a real treat to have cranberry sauce out of a can sometimes, because that jelly just jiggles and it wiggles and it's really sweet. And god damn, it ain't Thanksgiving if you don't have something out of a can. Now, you were talking about the giving of thanks because you thought this was a religious thing. But when I'm talking about the giving of thanks, I just think that idea of being thankful.
For what?
For whatever it is you're thankful for.
Okay, so you're not...
What you're thankful for,
But
man.
you're not... Yeah, okay, right. But originally the holiday, the idea behind Thanksgiving is giving thanks because you've brought... it's the harvest. It's the end of the harvest thing, right?
Yeah. But again, the American Thanksgiving, as I experienced it, was a secular holiday.
Okay.
And is there just to remind, has the mythology of the Pilgrims and the Native Americans, and it's all wrapped up into a family holiday where one would give, talk about what you're thankful for.
Yeah.
And just to, take that pause to count your blessings.
Count your blessings.
Yeah. There's a wonderful song. It's one of my favorites. And it's by a band called Poi Dog Pondering. Did you ever hear of Poi Dog Pondering?
No, but I have heard of King of the Obscure.
Yeah. And Poi Dog Pondering was a band from the late 90s. In fact, Andrew's wife's brother used to hang out with that band.
That's how obscure
back
they
in
were.
the day. And they're
from Seattle.
No, they were half from Hawaii because Andrew's wife's and her brother were from Hawaii. Half of the band's from Hawaii, half of them from Texas. And they did this wonderful music. It was quite eclectic and folk-based, but with a lot of rock later on in their careers. But their album, Thinking Like a Mountain and Wishing Like the Sea, or Wishing Like a Mountain and Thinking Like the Sea, I can't remember. In any case, on that album, there's a song called Thanksgiving. And the whole gist of that song is to give thanks to all of the mistakes that we've made, because without having made those, would our paths cross if every great loss had turned out our gain? Would our paths have crossed if the pain it had cost us was paid in vain? Thanksgiving for every wrong move that made it right. And it's just a beautiful sentiment. If you have a chance, take 3 minutes out of your day and listen to Thanksgiving by Poi Dog Pondering today.
Poi Dog.
Poi. Poi is a food from Hawaii.
P-O-I.
P-O-I. And a poi dog was like a beach bum. Maybe Andrew's wife can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But I believe
Beach bum pondering.
Yeah, like a beach bum pondering, a poi dog.
All right. Yeah.
So, I want to get back to it. What are you thankful for?
Well, I'm really thankful for being healthy most of the time.
Yeah.
Because, damn,
Absolutely.
don't even have to bother about anything else if you're not healthy. Yeah, just doesn't help. So, that's a lot of what I'm thankful for.
Okay.
That and people. Yeah, like the good people in my life.
Absolutely. Oh, man.
Yeah, I think that's mainly it.
We have so many of them. Andrew hitting us with some tea. The Hawaiian poi dog is an extinct breed of, I think it's probably prairie dog, not pariah dog, but from Hawaii, which was used by Native Hawaiians as a spiritual protector of children and as a source of food. Mm-hmm. Today, the term poi dog is most often used to refer to mutts or mixed breed dogs, but also attribute specific characteristics to poi dogs, including the ability to eat anything, a strong will. Dang. See, there you go. So, not a beach bum, but sort of a mutt.
A mutt.
And the other things that he said.
A pariah dog, not a prairie dog. I think it must be a pariah dog.
No, I think it's a prairie dog.
You think it's a prairie dog?
What's a pariah dog?
Well,
a dog that has been sent off by the rest of the dogs?
Like a wild dog.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, actually, that could work. A pariah dog.
But a prairie dog isn't a dog at all.
No, it's not. A pariah dog. You know, I get it now. Nice. That's a good use of the word pariah.
So maybe pariah dogs are just kind of wild dogs that are mixed breeds that got left on islands. I can see that happening. I can totally see that happening. Like I think this is how islands are populated. There's one person who gets washed up there and another person gets washed up there and they meet and they're like, well, there's nobody else. New species.
Jesus, I'm so glad Michael wasn't like on the Beagle with Darwin. Hey, Darwin, look at those guys. Look at them go at it. What do you think? New species out of them?
I think that's how most.
We've got a new clue here. I'm actually a follower of Clay. I'm actually thankful too for the advice and encouraging words Jim once gave me. I never do that. Why would I do that to follower?
Advice and encouraging words. Okay, well, I believe the advice and encouraging words actually a follower of Clay, but it was probably a lot of advice and following and encouraging words, especially seeing as how he always drinks.
And just goes on and on.
And on.
What's this? The poi dog was
Andrew's in his element.
Breeding. Andrew's bringing it down. Then, Andrew, please find a link to the song I was talking about, Poi Dog Pondering Thanksgiving. Feral dogs of European settlers interbred with the poi dogs, and by the early 20th century, at latest, the breed disappeared as a distinct entity. Well, there you go.
Feral dogs, that's the
feral as pariah.
Cool.
Very, very cool.
Nice little spot of a factoid. Thanks, Andrew.
I love factoids.
Yes.
Factoids. You got a good factoid? I got a good factoid.
No, I don't run around with factoids. I need to get into a conversation, then I remember factoids. Like,
I see.
If I was talking about dogs, somewhere in the future, I might remember this pariah dog, feral dog, poi dog factoid.
That's a good factoid.
It's a good factoid.
Yeah.
You can impress people with factoids.
You can amaze your teachers and wow your friends with factoids.
You can also get smacked for being a smartass.
If anybody remembers what I just said was from, you're old.
That used to be on the back of comics, like in the 70s. There used to be this, you could buy stuff from a mail order shop, and it was like X-ray glasses.
Did you ever order anything?
Never.
No?
Never, ever. Mostly because the mail order you had to order from was in the United States.
Okay.
And they very often didn't send anything outside of continental North America.
Sure. I have a very dark memory of having those sea monkeys.
Really? You had those things?
Yeah, but you know what? It's just
They
they're
didn't
just
look
little Brian
anything
Shrimp. No, of
like
course not.
like the other.
There were no crowns.
They had no feet.
There were no feet. There were no web fingers.
There were no pretty female ones.
There was no dad and mom hanging out. It was just a bunch of shrimps going. Flop, flop, flop,
They were
flop, flop,
shrimps.
flop. They were like brine shrimp. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they were microscopic.
They were super tiny,
Yeah.
and I have this dark memory of my
Sea monkeys.
cousin sort of like shining a flashlight on the side of the water that we had stuck it in, and sea monkeys are just plankton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little tiny thing.
What a scam.
What a super scary. Well,
And
it leads me to
it's
believe
also
that those
so-
X-ray glasses don't work.
They don't work either. But it's somehow that's such an American thing. It's like, I very often have the feeling that 50% of the American dream is finding some sucker you can play.
Well, you know why they call it the American dream? Because you got to be asleep to believe it.
Yeah, I guess so.
George Carlin.
So, oh man, we missed that guy. He left a big.
Those X-ray
hole.
glasses were so tempting, but they did not deliver through the Iron Curtain back then. Dang. Okay, so follower of Clay is somebody who lived on the other side of the.
I think
okay.
follower of Clay is somebody who's friends with your squeeze,
I think so too. I think
like
now
with your main squeeze,
I think I
with your now only. I'm not talking.
just shut it. Whatever that is. I think now I have a feeling that follower of Clay is maybe from Germany.
Oh, definitely. It's taken you this long to figure this out.
How did you know that from the context from
The
before?
handmade liquor.
Handmade liquor is German?
Of course it is.
Yeah, keep digging, Michael. Keep digging.
Nah, I'm gonna go and get a shovel, and get a trowel at least.
Yeah. What's going on, Michael?
What's going on? What is going on? Where were we? X-ray glasses.
X-ray glasses.
I
which
once
never work.
saw somebody buy X-ray glasses in a toy shop.
Yeah.
And I was maybe 12 or 13 at the time. And I was in the toy shop with my mom. We'd probably been shopping or something. And I saw this kid walk up to the counter.
Yeah.
And they were expensive, those X-ray glasses. They weren't cheap.
Okay.
And it was like, he pointed at these things and the shop assistant took them down off the wall and gave them to him. And he must have handed him like 30 rand. So the equivalent of $30 back then.
Whoa.
Yeah.
For plastic
Right.
and cardboard?
And I was like,
Dang.
kid, those don't work.
Shit don't work.
Don't do that. There's
Get
X-ray glasses. They don't work. You need a machine in the background producing the X-rays. Oh man.
Yeah,
And I
that's
just
that's why they didn't work, because no one could afford the machine that you had to put in the
and
background.
I just was thinking of all the much better things he could get for $30
Yeah, like a down payment on one of those machines.
that you
to
could
put
have in the background so that your X-ray glasses would actually work.
Oh God, that's funny.
I once delivered an X-ray machine to a hospital in Tyrol, and I ran out of fuel on the way back, and it was
Okay.
before ATM machines
Right.
came to Austria. And I had no cash in my pocket,
Oh.
so I drove back something like 400 kilometers on what would have been the fuel for like 120.
Oh God, I remember
Like I
those trips.
drove uphill at 65, people going past me on the Autobahn honking.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'd turn the engine off,
Yeah, yeah.
roll
Coast
down,
down the hill.
coast down the next hill. Oh God.
Life hack from last week. Here's a life hack. It's keep the top half of your gas tank full, not the bottom half. It's just as easy. That was a great piece of advice that I got. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's true.
Keep the top half of your bank filled, because
Yeah.
if you're always adding $20 after the end, you just,
Yeah.
give
There's
yourself
something to be said for that. There's a rule we have in motorcycling, is if you're cycling in a group, everybody fills up when the smallest tank goes to fill up.
Okay.
Because it means you don't have to stop so often.
Right.
But everybody fills their tank when the smallest tank needs to stop for gas.
Right, so that you don't have to
Just get into
suddenly
the thing,
stop.
like,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's because some bikes have really
It
small
also keeps
tanks.
corrosion down in the tank.
Well, of course, that you want to keep your tank full at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes it's hard to do. Sometimes
It's so hard. Everything's hard to do, man. If it was easy, we would be living somewhere else.
I have a fairly fuel efficient car,
Yeah.
and sometimes I look at the dial and I think, it's good for another 3 days.
Yeah.
And then I go and pick up some chairs from a place in the Wiener Wald, and I get halfway there and I'm like, fuck, I have to drive back and fill up fuel. This has happened.
Yeah.
All true stories on Isbaz. Oh, man. All true stories. What?
They're all true stories. Yeah, they're all true stories. It should be about something brought to you in 3 parts. I'm going to say that
Do we have a third part?
was viewer's choice.
Oh.
Because we have been straight out rehearsing and working, and we weren't sure what we wanted to talk about. I like the little mini subjects that you brought in of shoes and
That's my pleasure.
cars.
Sure. We can talk about electric cars.
Yeah.
Andrew
Wanna
just
talk
got
about
himself an electric Mini.
an electric Mini.
Yeah, he's liking it.
Yeah.
I'm all for electric cars. I can't wait for electric motorcycles to come along.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. We definitely need more electric cars in our lives.
There are so many upsides to electric cars. Downsides. Yeah, in the way they feel and look.
Has anybody out there had an electric car that they didn't like?
Yes.
Of course you did. Probably during your childhood. Your terrible, terrible childhood.
All the electric cars I had in my childhood were great. No, I had this hybrid piece of Toyota crap.
Oh.
Fuck, that was an awful car.
Yeah.
I hated that thing. I hated that car with a vengeance, and we had it on holiday. We only had it on holiday for like 10 days. Man, what a piece of crap. Fucking hell.
Well, you know me. I could talk about cars all day.
Yeah.
But, our
Moving on.
viewers want to say Power Wheels sucked as a kid.
Yeah, you see, I had Darda, which was those wind-up cars, and they really went very well, way better than Hot Wheels, Power Wheels.
You mean the ones that you pulled back, where the wheels would go backward, cranking the crank, and then when you let it go, they would go. I remember those. Do you remember the ones that you had like a plastic T with ridges, and you would go and send it off?
Yeah. Those were a lot of fun until the ridges were just eaten down on that T-pull, that pull. Was it pull power? What were they called? Inertia power or something like that? Can't remember.
I don't remember either. This conversation is getting a little too boy for me. So
okay.
I would like to...
Moving on to campiness.
Pavlov's dog has still got some Darda.
Cool.
Nice.
Me, I got one too. It doesn't have much data left though.
Apparently, Follower of Clay also rented one of those terrible cars that you had and felt like an idiot because it took forever to get the damn thing going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so topic number 3.
Well, I'd like to do 2 things out in the audience. If anybody wants to let us know what they're thankful for. We heard a little bit, or what you're doing for Thanksgiving. I heard from Philly Girl 1000 that my sister's turkey looks amazing this year. I wonder if she rubbed it down with duck fat or with mayonnaise.
Ooh, just hearing the words duck fat makes me salivate.
Right?
Mayonnaise, not so much, but duck fat.
Follower of Clay says we should talk about nature, and Pavlov's dog is all for, I think I still got an originally packed engines. Oh, whoa. She's
No
got an
way.
originally packed Darda engines. Crazy.
Wow.
Let's talk about nature for a second. I like this idea. Follower of Clay wants us to talk about nature, and I think that's a good thing to talk about.
Cool.
I was in nature recently, this past Sunday. Went for a walk.
Mayo, baby.
Mayo, that's right. There you go. That's what we're talking about. That's a Thanksgiving turkey, slathering that thing with some mayo and lots of butter. Catherine Martinez Bringing it home with the Mena. That's Mena for greasy. Lots of butter. Very nice.
Nature, yeah.
So
you were in nature recently?
I was in nature. I know.
Wow.
So for those of you who don't know me, I'm not a big. I like going on adventures, but if I don't like going on walks.
But if it means going in the forest, he's not interested. Like the times that I've tried to get this man to go hiking with me, doesn't work.
I spent a lot of time in my life hiking through the woods, and so it's got to be something. It's something cool. I want to have a thing. But this time around, I went on this hike, and we went up to what the fuck do you call it? Kornberg? No,
Kahlenberg.
Nebenkallenberg. Kobenzl.
Cool.
So we went up to the Kobenzl, which is a mountain, a little hill, big hill looking over Vienna. And we went up there and we walked into the woods, and Jim went to a Seegrotte. That
Counts.
Yeah, of course it counts, because that's an awesome adventure. A Seegrotte isn't just walking around with no purpose. A Seegrotte is going in underground on a boat on a lake that's underground, and then seeing shit and learning about stuff. That's cool. Anyway,
You can do that. Okay.
we went up to the Kobenzl, and we were walking around, and it was a crisp day, and it was very nice, and it was a really nice walk. And when we got to this one certain point, we came to a Warte, which is a lookout point. This particular one had been built in the late 19th century and was quite beautiful. I'd never seen it before. It was really very cool.
Wooden one.
No. Well, the original construction was wood, but this one was made of stone. And when they built the stone one, the Austrian military used it as the main point for the triangulation system throughout Austria.
Triangulation?
Yeah, die Triangulation von Österreich, as they were doing triangulation of, to do maps and stuff like that.
Geographical surveys.
That's right. So, in any case, I thought that
Do
was
you
really
remember what the
interesting.
Warte was called?
Yes, it's called the Schönbrunn-Warte. It's not true.
Yeah, you made that up.
I made that up. I can't remember what it was called, but I can find out for you. NDF Beacon for the rest of the world.
NDF beacon.
NDF Beacon, yeah. Yes, so in any case, that was really interesting. But I'm a big fan of nature. I actually am a big fan of nature. I love everything about nature because we are nature.
I had a cool nature experience.
What was your nature experience?
January. My wife and I were in South Africa, and on the east coast we saw whale bones, like bones from a whale skeleton that had died on that coast, and we sat on. They were on this little pebble beach, and you could go and sit on the bones,
right?
And they were huge.
Yeah, sure.
And there was a skull, like from that side of the room to where the sofa is. That's the side of the skull.
Yeah, it's
very
crazy.
Very fascinating.
Cool story, Jim. Say, did you see anything interesting? Like, I don't know, mushrooms, maybe? I knew it. I was thinking this for a while because I was just about to say, if you asked me to go out into nature, because you want to walk around and just walk for the sake of walking, I will say no. But I was going to say, for example, if Follower of Clay said to me, hey, Jim, you want to walk out into the woods? It's going to be about an hour-long hike, but we're going to find a bunch of mushrooms that are super rare, and when we bring them back home and cook them, they're going to taste like chicken. I would go on that
Mushrooms
walk.
never taste like chicken.
They do.
It would be a lie.
No, there is a mushroom called chicken of the woods, and it has the texture and flavor of chicken.
Do they grow in the woods here?
They grew in the woods in Maine. Hey, Follower of Clay.
Well, how many other mushrooms do you
I
have to
now
eat?
know who Follower of Clay is. And Follower of Clay is actually a bit of a mushroom expert. Mm-hmm. So, Follower of Clay, have you ever heard of chicken of the woods, and do they grow in Europe?
Cool.
We'll find out in 15 seconds.
Well, I have this regular walk that I do quite often.
Yeah.
But it's always about checking out what's going on in nature, because there's this pond that we always pass.
Right.
And we always see check how the tadpoles are doing at the beginning of the season. Then you've got the frogs.
Right.
Then you've got the salamanders. Then you see whether the frogs have laid eggs later. And the woodpeckers, and the woodpeckers have kids.
Yeah.
And the eagles
I love
doing
that. That's
flying lessons. I've watched several eagle families doing flying lessons out there. It's like that's fascinating to me.
So we have a murder of crows that live here.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite things to do, is to get up in the morning and go out and watch the crows.
Yeah.
Because they patrol around here. You know whose section is whose section,
Yeah.
and then when
They're extremely territorial. You wouldn't think, because they all
take care
kind of look the
business.
same. You know?
No, they take care of business.
Have you seen that? We need to check this. Like when we're going to the theater tomorrow, because
Okay.
you know that when you get out at Stubentor,
Yeah.
there's that really expensive Fleischhauer just just kind of across the road from Café Engländer.
Yeah. When we turn
Right,
up to go to the
that butcher there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that butcher.
Okay,
Yeah.
that butcher has a crow, and that crow turns up once a day and
Really?
sits on the roof of the car across the road from the entrance and caws till the butcher comes out and throws meat to him.
Right.
Same
So,
crow every day.
I love it. Now, I'm a big fan of crows.
Yeah, me too.
Because crows are super smart and they're very territorial. They've got great memories. They communicate with one another. When one of them dies, they have a funeral. And if you're an asshole to them, they will follow you and they will fuck your shit up, and they will tell other crows to do the same for them.
I've read that the funeral is not so much a funeral, but more like a meeting of pathologists. When a crow dies, the other crows in the group or around him go to find out what killed that crow, so that they can
Go and
learn
get it. That's
not to go
interesting.
into the same trap.
That's interesting. That's super interesting. That makes a lot of sense. There was a pigeon that kind of came in.
I hate pigeons.
Yeah, and we never have pigeons because this murder of crows take care of business
Yeah.
and do not let any pigeons around. And one came in and they chased it and got it out. And then you could see them. Two of them went to the other side and started waiting and sort of circling over the Westbahnhof until these other two
They're
squizzled
being
it
bullies
out.
about it.
Yeah, and chased it to the other two, and then the other two picked it up and just started dive bombing this pigeon that had been fucking shit up. Follower of Clay, by the way, says yes, chicken of the woods do grow in Europe.
Oh, really?
But he said there is a more tasty mushroom than that one. It's called the Klapperschwam.
I need
or
to check
the
this out. My
snake
mom
mushroom.
used to pick wild mushrooms,
The castanet mushroom.
and they were really good.
Yeah.
And I had a girlfriend here in Austria who was quite a mushroom buff. So whenever I went hiking with her, there'd be fresh mushrooms.
Yeah.
But I've never really been able to do it on my own. When I'm out with someone else and they say you can pick those and you can pick
Yeah.
those and pick those, but I don't have enough. I don't do it often enough to really notice to know the ones that are slightly obscure.
Yeah.
That you can still get.
Yeah.
I mean, yes,
Yeah, you gotta be
I know what an Eierschwammer looks like, but that's about the only one that I can find. All the other ones, like the Bovisten, and there's those long tapered ones that are really great, and you see them quite a lot. But I'm hesitant to eat them.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get Follower of Clay to visit us in Vienna.
Yeah.
And we'll go out. We'll take Follower of Clay out to our woods.
Yeah.
And then Follower of Clay can show us.
Well, next year in October.
Yeah, something like that. Now, if your idea of nature is animals, and you really like animals, which
The way
I also
Andrew
do.
likes animals.
No, not to eat them, but to watch them. I have something that I would highly recommend to everyone out there as well, and you can spend the rest of the night watching these. From a wonderful hero of the internet, he's been around since way at the beginning, Zefrank, Zefrank, Zefrank. And he does a series called True Facts about, and then does true facts about
True facts.
And when he started doing them, he was always doing them he was doing a Morgan Freeman impersonation as he does the voiceover of these things, and then talks about one animal and just gives you true facts about this animal. The videos are all, maybe 2 to 4 minutes long.
That sounds
They are
consumable.
fucking hilarious.
Cool.
And you will be filled with factoids about animals every single time. If you want a place to start, I can highly recommend the one about the eye, which is hilarious, or the one about squids.
Squids are nice to eat as well.
Yes, they are.
Is it really the Frank or the Frank?
Well, he calls himself Zafrank.
The Frank.
Zafrank. He's
Okay,
an
good.
American dude.
Check him out.
Yeah, he's done a ton of
Do
stuff.
you remember the time we cooked an octopus?
I remember the time that you and I cooked.
No,
an octopus.
you and I didn't cook it. It was Marcus and I cooked the octopus. You ate it.
I can imagine eating an octopus.
Yeah.
Where were we when we cooked the octopus?
Mallorca.
Mallorca. Ah, yeah. Sure. I remember that.
That was tough.
To cook?
Yeah.
But it was super yummy.
It was super yummy. It was a very big octopus, like so.
Mm-hmm.
And it was tough. It was tough on your stomach at some point. Both of us felt ill at some point.
Really?
Because it was just this huge, slippy, sloppery, slithering mass.
Yeah.
I found myself looking out the window at the horizon a couple of times.
Yeah. Well, because there's nothing in there. They're so alien. Octopuses really, I think they are aliens. They're super alien. They've got brains in their arms.
There's that myth going around that they might be from another planet.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard a thing recently where somebody was...
They've got brains in their arms, and not only that, they've got brains and sexual bits in their arms.
Yeah. Octopuses are crazy. They're awesome. I heard a guy talking about an unconscious person, describing an unconscious person as a bag of pudding with sticks in it. Because you're trying to pick up a 160 kilo bag of pudding with sticks in it.
Yeah.
It's really hard. And octopuses don't even have bones. They've got beaks, as Andrew says. Yes, it's true. They totally have beaks, and those things are fucking weird.
There's a beak, and squids have that one sort of cartilage bit in them. Yeah.
Michael.
Nature. Is there anything else we want to say about nature? I mean, I like watching animals. Right?
I love watching animals. I like walking in the zoo. It's not nature.
Depends on the zoo. Sometimes zoos depress me.
Well, yes, but the zoo here is beautiful.
The zoo here is pretty good.
And the zoo in Leipzig is pretty beautiful too. I wonder if it's near the nature or mushrooms. I know who's it.
The zoo here has a baby polar bear.
I know.
Which I want to go and
the
see.
zoo here had a bunch of baby everything, and I got to see a bunch of baby stuff, like baby Erdmännchen and baby baboons.
Baby Erdmännchen is a prairie dog.
There was baby gibbons. No, prairie dogs are not Erdmännchen. Prairie dogs are prairie dogs. Erdmännchen are meerkats.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
But there was all kinds of babies at the...
Baby
I love the babies. There was the baby elephant was really cute. Oh, the baby polar bear was really cute, and the baby...
Have you seen the baby polar bear?
Yeah, it's quite big now.
When we were new baby polar bear.
Another new baby polar
I
bear
think so.
already? Like in the last month?
Not like in the last 6 months.
Yeah. That baby polar bear is quite big now.
You saw that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That baby polar bear is quite big. There is a game farm about 2 hours outside Seattle where you can drive through it, and lions and buffalo can lick your windows.
There's one outside of Johannesburg.
I love how Andrew wrote it, though. It's like a factoid.
Yeah.
Just a quick factoid.
Yeah. There's one of those outside of Johannesburg, and we went there with some foreign guests, and we had a VW Jetta 1984 model with that foam rubber wing on the back. And a lion came up, got both paws on the trunk of the car, and took a huge bite out of that foam rubber spoiler. The bite was like this wide.
That's
Okay,
amazing.
it was this big. and you could see the incisors, made this huge mark, right? And then like a year later, I'm getting the exhaust changed, and we're in the shop, right?
Yeah.
And our VW Jetta's next to another VW Jetta, and they're both on the hoist. And this other VW Jetta's got this tiny little piece missing, right? And this guy's looking at our car and he says, "What's that?" And I say, "Lion." I say, "What happened to yours?" He says, "Beagle."
Oh God, I love it. That's very nice. Yeah, nature is lit. We love nature. Get out inside of it as much as you can. Get outside to get into it. You have to go outside
Prairie
to get into
dogs, as mentioned, are different but taste the same, almost like chicken. There's only one meat that tastes like chicken, and that's chicken.
it. Hold on a second. Has anybody else heard about this company? You know how they're using stem cells to create steak? Well, there's a company now that will grow stem cell meat from your stem cells. So you can find out what you taste like.
Well, you can grow stem cells from your squeeze and find out what your squeeze tastes like.
So, this is a question. Please tell us in the chat. Would you, if you had the opportunity to eat a you steak, would you do it? And what do you think you taste like?
Would you do it?
I've been thinking about it. I mean, I've been thinking about it hard. There's something super weird
It's
about it.
super weird, but the whole concept's kind of super weird.
And the whole concept is,
But I'm all for it.
Not the whole concept. No, the concept of creating meat from stem cells or growing meat in a lab, I think is great because
Yes,
we can get rid
absolutely.
of it. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But would I do it? Would I eat a stem cell? Would I eat a meat made from stem cells myself? I think something about it is weird, like drinking your own urine, which I haven't done either. Mm-hmm. I haven't brushed my teeth with my own pee
really
like
the same
Catullus' Spaniard. I haven't done an Eigenurinkur ever. I mean, I've swallowed my own snot.
Yeah.
I've never eaten my own
Probably
shit.
swallowed your own bath.
Oh yeah, sure. I've tasted my own blood, but I don't know if I would eat my own meat.
Auto-cannibalism is not auto-cannibalism if all your parts are still on after you've finished eating.
But that's the thing, is that it still is a type. Is it a type of cannibalism? Yes, and that's why it's such a.
So
What if you tasted like ham?
I'm all in favor of this. Well, you can make it taste like ham.
Yeah.
It's
Kathy Tanner thinks she tastes like frog legs. But would you do it, Kathy? Would you taste your own frog legs? Cultivate yourself as food. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
so if you were stuck on a planet somewhere, but you had the technology to make meat, but you could only make it from stem cells, and you had to get the stem cells from yourself, would you eat that meat?
I mean, when it comes to survival, I think I would drink some urine if I had to, In normal times,
It's not
I
as
wouldn't.
bad as drinking your own urine. Come on.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying is that, if needs be, yeah, sure, I would eat my own stem cells.
I mean, are you saying if you had to, you'd eat your own shit before you had nothing to eat?
I guess. I don't know.
I think I'd rather eat the leather off this chair than
I'm just saying-
eat my own shit, frankly.
Okay, here's Andrew with some more factoids. The last cannibalistic tribe once asked what long pig tasted like, and they said the closest thing was pork. Yeah.
That's why they're called long pig.
Yeah, because they taste like pork. They taste like long
Can you imagine
pigs.
that humans taste like pig because you are basically what you eat? And pigs will eat anything, and so will humans.
I think...
Oh, and we're also very similar. You can put like a pig's liver in a human. We are very similar.
True that. I think if I were to let my stem cells be grown into a steak and I sliced into it, it would taste like lots of butter.
Because that's mainly what you eat.
Yeah, lots of butter and chocolate.
It would have a strong Red Bull flavor to it.
Yeah, it would be a Red Bull tinged, vodka infused lobster roll
Yeah.
If you are able to cultivate stem cells into muscle cells. Yeah, they do that. They do that already. They're already working on that. They can already do it. It's a thing. It's a thing. So maybe that's something you might want to think about for Christmas. You know, it sounds like a nice gift. Here, instead of homemade liquor
for your wife or girlfriend, it's like, here you are, I made this for you. This is this is what I taste like.
You can eat my meat. It's not homemade liquor.
Yeah.
Make sure you eat it before it goes bad. Don't be like Jim.
Eat your meat. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't eat your dessert until you eat your meat.
When I lived in Portland, Maine, before I moved to Austria.
Did you ever live in Portland, Oregon?
No.
Then stop saying that.
Well, I have to say Portland, Maine, because when I say Portland, everyone thinks it's Portland, Oregon.
But
And so
everybody knows you're from Portland, Maine.
Not everybody. I don't think.
Follower of Clay, who
Pavlov's
knows
dog.
everything else about you.
Yeah. In any case, there was a band. They were sort of affiliated. They were kind of like Dradivabel in that style. And there
They
was
get banned from New York.
They weren't from New York. They were from Portland.
Did they get banned from New
Oh,
York?
did they get banned from New York? Maybe at some point. I mean, but it was the same kind of thing, you know,
Yeah.
like they would open for Gigi Allen and stuff like that. And there was a splinter group from this band. There was one called Big Meat Hammer. And then there was a splinter group called the Donner Party.
I think I've heard about them.
Okay, so the
I think we
Donner
were talking
Party.
about this thing, Gigi Allen, the other day, weren't we?
Oh, maybe I mentioned this. Yeah. So the Donner Party, of course, you know, was this party that was trying to go through the Rockies and then had to eat one another to survive. And this band called themselves the Donner Party, and on their bumper stickers it said the Donner Party, and then in quotes, "Shut up and eat your spleen," which always made me laugh. Shut up and eat your spleen.
Yeah, it's what-
now
it's-
we can.
It's the part you need least. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
See,
a
thank you,
long-
Andrew, for backing me up on the Portland. They think but it's a long list of ingredients. You need to stimulate the cells to grow into that. Yes.
But
yes,
everybody
and it comes
knows
from the
that
long ingredients.
that there's
It's not
two
just you.
Portlands in the US.
They don't all know that.
And everybody knows that he's from Maine.
In the U.S., perhaps, but in the world, nobody has ever heard of Portland, Maine. There's no reason for you to know Portland, Maine, but everyone has heard of Portland, Oregon. It's also much bigger. It's Portland's huge. But as we know, unless you don't, Portland, Oregon was named after Portland, Maine, because the two people who founded Portland, Oregon, one was from Boston and one was from Portland, Maine, and they flipped a coin to find out who got the chance to name it, and the guy from Portland won. So boom.
Yeah, people are so unimaginative. So
Yeah, like my dad.
terribly unimaginative. Did he name that place?
No, he named me James Franklin Libby II. Couldn't figure out.
He was like, nah, I got nothing.
I don't know.
Yeah, he looks like me.
Yeah, call him my name. That'll be fine. And thanks to Portlandia. Yeah, exactly. What is a Portland? Isn't there a Portland in South Africa?
Yes.
Yeah, there's Portland.
There's a Portland, there's a Frankfurt, there's a London, there's a Bethlehem.
Yeah, Maine's got that too. There's a really wonderful sign where there's this. It's like a big sign with pointing arrows to different towns, and it says Paris and Frankfurt and stuff, but they're all towns in Maine.
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah.
29 miles away.
Yeah. Is the town called Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Paris, Amsterdam. Like, I think you can find a pendant to tons of European cities and towns in South Africa.
And I remember reading at least in North America, the most common name for a geographical thing is mud pond. That there are more
That makes a lot of sense.
mud ponds
Yeah, totally.
than anything else.
Yeah. And in fact, I think it might even be true for Austria as well. The most common geographical name for something in Austria is Graben.
The most common surname in Austria is Gruber.
Is the guy who digs the Graben, right? There you go.
There
Mud
you go.
pond.
It's
It's
all
what we're all about.
It's all coming
It's
together.
where we came from.
Hum tulips is a better time. Hump tulips?
What's he talking about?
I don't know.
Aberdeen, Washington. Andrew's having his own conversation over here in the chat.
Humptulips. I'm Engelbert Humptulips. Humptulips. It's like, what's better than roses on your piano? Tulips on your organ. And then you can humptulips. Humptulips.
Yeah.
Humptulips. It's nice in your mouth when you say it.
Humptulips to see you.
Humptulips. I'm Engelbert Humptulips, and this is my wife, Frau Humptulips.
I Humptulips.
Clay comes out of mud ponds, so hooray, follower of clay, because clay, he follows the clay. He goes where the clay is. Is that
I think
because
follower
mushrooms?
of
No.
clay is just making it up as he goes along.
Yeah, it could very well be.
A follower of clay. I don't think that has anything to do with ground or earth.
Michael,
I think the clay in that is Cassius.
follower of Cassius Clay?
Mm.
I don't think so. But
What
I don't
proof
wanna
do you
know.
have? Back that up.
For me, not thinking that your theory is right.
Mr. Handmade Liquor here has nothing to do with mud ponds. Mr. or Mrs. Handmade
It's been
Liquor.
a very long day,
Yes.
and
Good night.
we've been talking for a very long time. But
Improvise. Oh, I improvise. Yes.
yes,
you
he
do.
does. I want to say one thing. I think this has been, despite the fact that we are both quite tired
I don't
and
think I've
overworked.
ever been so tired on an Isbaz, but
I've
this has
never been
the
this
best
tired on
one
it.
so far.
It's been the best
I
one.
had a fantastic time.
This has been the best. It should be about something ever.
Great chatting to the chat,
You
chatting
guys,
to all our great friends online, chatting
make
to
it.
you.
I love it.
It's like unusually nice chatting to you tonight.
Aw, you say the sweetest thing.
Yeah, don't get camp on me.
Tomorrow, we are going to go back to the theater and hopefully get it all together. If we don't see you on the 2nd of December, seeing the English Lovers Show, Ready, Steady, Snow, maybe we'll see you next Thursday on It Should Be About Something, probably around 10 o'clock. It's going to be a little later than usual, but we'd love to see you then there.
And to all of our followers who are not in Europe, if you can't watch the show at the same time as we're streaming it, you will be able to watch it on YouTube for a couple of days after we streamed it. It's going to be, if you sign up for the event, then you can watch it for a couple of days after the event has passed.
Yeah.
So you can watch it in the evening,
Synchronously?
with your
or-
drinky poo or
Yeah.
with your feet up on the sofa. You don't have to watch it at work or whatever.
Exactly. Thank you all so very, very much for your support. I'm Jim Libby. Michael's not doing the thing with me, so
Andrew's saying follow. I'm watching what Andrew's doing here.
Yeah.
Andrew's taken over the chat.
Andrew and follower of Clay have found one another, and they are going to like one another quite a lot.
They can follow each other.
Those two guys are going to get along pretty well, I think.
Okay, you guys, it's been great.
Thank you all so very much. It's been the best It Should Be About Something ever.
Catherine, put some duck fat on that turkey.
Verena, wave to the screen. Wave to the screen, Verena.
Bye-bye,
Good
everybody.
night, everybody. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
We will see you. We're going to this
Khaki,
thing.
rock that.
Cool. It's interesting
Wait, why is the mixer still going?
because that's Beanos playing the outro.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah. Beanos plays the outro there.